Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Talking About Birds, the only Cardinal podcast that, like Nolan Arenado, doesn't really have a market. My name is Nate Heininger, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ben Samorka.
What is up, Nate?
That opening bit came to us via the Birds Cord from friend of the show, C70. If you want to be like C70, consider joining the Birds Cord, and you can make a recommendation for the opening bit, or you could text us or leave us a voicemail at 848-48-BIRDS. Well, Hambone, let's just get right to it. I sound like shit today.
You really do. It's amazing.
It's bad. But, I'm committed to the show. We're on episode 199. Okay.
Yeah.
And it sounds like shit every week. So what is this? This is just like a different.
I don't know. Maybe we should have taken a week off. maybe we should have pumped the brakes for once. You sound terrible.
I feel great though, and I've got a hot tea here with me on my Toe Jam and Earl cup.
Very cool.
You and I kind of have a Toe Jam and Earl vibe, I think.
I don't know enough about their personalities to really weigh in on that, but I feel like they're cool.
Oh,
right?
they're
cool.
funky fresh.
Yeah. So I like being cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be one or the other, but I'll take it.
It's kind of like the small, like hip, fast talking, cool guy, and then like the big, slow, guy.
You think that you're hip?
I mean, come on, listen to me.
I feel like you don't even know what hip. I don't know if I know what hip means, but I know that you are not hip.
Hip hop, I think.
You are hip hop though. You are real rap. You are from the streets.
Yeah. Just listen to this voice.
When the streets talk, you listen, and the inverse is also true.
From these streets. And these are the things that people know about me. Yeah, so I this happens to me like every other year or so. I just like completely lose my voice. I don't know. I think my throat.
If you've ever spent time with Nate in real life, he's the loudest person on the planet. Luckily, you guys, the people who are listening to this podcast right now, there's a lot of audio equipment and technology and the internet that are kind of, it levels out the volumes. But this is the loudest person I know. So it is not surprising that once in a while the voice just starts to give out. It'd be like if you're running your car in the red every single day, eventually it's going to break down. So shut up. What are you talking about? Of course this is going to happen to you. Maybe you should be quieter. Maybe you should stop talking so much. It's not only the volume, but it's the amount that you speak.
Shut up, Ben. Shut the fuck up. You don't know me. You don't know shit about me. Don't come at me. Don't come at me like that. Theory.
You could probably get the idea across using one sentence. I'm going to tell you a whole anecdote and fold it into my life and explain to you why we ended up replacing our washer and dryer combo. Shut up for once, Nate. Maybe
you don't know shit about me.
This wouldn't happen.
You don't know shit about me. I'm not loud. Okay. Well, I am loud, but I'm not. So people always think that I'm like
abnormally loud. You are screaming at all times.
I am not. Okay. I'm my voice. I believe that
yes, you believe you are wrong.
My voice just happens to match.
It's much more likely that you have some weird tonal thing that I know what you're going to say that rattles people's bones. Then you're just screaming all the time. I'm sure you're more akin to a superhero.
Thank you for taking it for me because it's hard for me to talk right now. But yes, the timbre of my voice, I believe, matches the same frequency as human bone, and so when I speak, it just rattles everyone around me. Because I am not projecting when I am speaking. I think I'm speaking at quite a normal volume. It's just everyone can hear it everywhere.
This is not me doing a bit. This is not hyperbole. Nate is the loudest person I know.
But I am speaking at my regular speaking voice. When
you believe that you are speaking at a regular speaking voice. Sure.
We're
all prisoners in our own body. I get it.
Well, anyway, shut up. Shut up. You don't know shit of
Maybe you should free yourself from that prison. Have you ever considered that?
the call of the void, my friend.
Just kidding, Nate.
Uh-huh.
Merry Christmas or
Merry
whatever.
Christmas. Yeah, this is the season of the heart, Hambone, as Scrooge himself said. We're here in it. We're 1 week away from Christmas. You'll be here in this very room in like
Wow.
5 days. How does that feel?
Yeah. Fine. You know, I love Christmas, love traveling this time of year. I love giving and receiving. You know, cookies are good.
Sure.
Very pro cookie. So I'm looking forward to eating some cookies. But yeah, you know, flying and then it's just going to Missouri this time of year. It's the weather there is, well, how's the weather, Nate? Is it okay?
People love hearing about this in podcasts, especially people not around here. Actually, it's going to be quite a balmy Christmas this year here in St. Louis, Ben. The
great.
temperature projection for Christmas Day is right around 70 degrees.
Oh,
so
booyah. Let's go.
It's
Okay.
going to be quite nice.
Well, that erases a good chunk of my dread. So that's great news.
Yeah, we love it. It's just getting hotter and hotter, and we love it, folks. It's good. It's a good thing. Signal of
the good thing is we don't know why. It's just
it's just happening. It's cool. We like it. Yeah. So we got 1 week until Christmas, and then I don't know. Maybe I'm expecting this to be a pretty slow week for baseball, or maybe it'll be a really fast week, or like maybe there'll be a lot this week and then it'll slow down for Christmas. I don't know.
You know what I want for Christmas is for the Cardinals to move Brendan Donovan to a different team and us to collect some young players.
Oh, I know. Well,
I would forego all of my gifts from Santa Claus for Brendan Donovan to be traded.
I don't believe that. You greedy little pig. You'd be like, still give me my presents, Joe.
So I'm just saying that for who? Whose benefit am I saying that for?
I don't know.
You just wanted to call me a greedy little pig because you're a little asshole and you're gonna get a fucking lump of coal, you piece of shit.
You'd be crying so hard if Christmas happened and you didn't have any gifts. You'd be crying. I know you'd be crying.
Yeah. It'd be sad too. People would feel bad for me. So
then you'd probably like that.
The pity. Yeah.
Man. Coming at each other hot today. Let's talk about the Cardinals, okay? I can't talk for too much longer.
I cannot say it again. The loudest motherfucker I know. It's unbelievable.
Sounds good though. People like it. It's a good voice.
Yeah.
Hambone, we just got
shout out to Ryan and the Bird Scored. We have been sitting on this news, or sitting on what the hell the numbers are going to be for Dustin May. Literally just came out 30 seconds ago.
Well, so I mean that's the big news so far of the last week, and something we haven't seen the Cardinals really do in a long time. Not something exactly like this, at least. The Cardinals have signed pitcher Dustin May to a 1-year deal with a mutual option. We have been waiting for the numbers. So Hambone, can you give those to us?
Yeah, we got it's 1 year, 12.5 million buckaroos for the first year, and then there was a mutual option for 2027 that is worth $20 million. Wow. That's an interesting. It's basically a qualifying offer, so it's kind of an interesting number.
Yeah.
Obviously, it'd be great if the Cardinals ended up wanting to offer Dustin May a qualifying offer or that rate. But I think super reasonable deal. We'll talk about why, a starting pitcher is coming in at such a low dollar amount, especially compared to a lot of other deals that are happening right now. Ha-Seong Kim just got $20 million for 1 year after having an abysmal year last year. But Dustin May is your new starting pitcher for the Cardinals, and arguably the second or maybe first or second guy in the rotation going into 2026 right now. I don't know.
So the purpose behind the signing is, I think, makes a lot of sense. We all saw something like this coming, right? A guy who will immediately go into the rotation, has a high degree of upside, but you are able to get at a reasonable price for a multitude of reasons. There were a number of guys on the market like this. Dustin May is a particularly popular one. I think a pretty well-known name among baseball fans, at least, was a big-time prospect, looked really, really good early in his career, and then has really struggled with both health and performance for several years now. So there's a reason
Yeah.
why you're able to get him for a couple, for a cheap price comparatively in a short-term deal, despite the name brand element of him.
Right.
And so obviously the Cardinals are, I think, I've actually been kind of torn on what is best case scenario here, because it is so short term. I kind of think like best case scenario is really that he just comes out of the gates firing and they're able to trade him for a big package at the deadline, because so the $20 million thing is interesting, but it still feels to me like there's almost no way it's either since it's a mutual option.
I would bet my house that it does not get
Yeah,
picked up.
what is the outcome where that gets picked up? Where he's like better in 2026, but not good enough to get a real contract from another team for multi years, but also good enough to where the Cardinals are like, yeah, we want to spend $20 million on this guy. Um,
I think
it's a narrow
I think
window.
it's I think it's he gets injured. He likes the way that the Cardinal staff is working with him, and the Cardinals have that optionality of being able to retain
Yeah,
him at a fixed price. But I agree. I think that there's like the scenario in which Dustin May accrues or has the kind of season that would necessitate the Cardinals wanting to spend $20 million on him, and him either sticking around or only taking that $20 million for 1 year. That is like, I cannot, it's very,
yeah,
very hard to imagine that scenario, because either he's going to be injured or he's going to underpitch it or he's going to overperform and want to eclipse that price tag by a lot. And like you mentioned, if he is overperforming, I think there's a pretty real chance that he's not even on the Cardinals anymore. The Cardinals move him,
right.
unless for whatever, the Cardinals are the team that finally sprinkles that magic pixie dust on Dustin May and his elbow and his esophagus and make sure that he is like get him to be effective, and the Cardinals want to extend him
Yeah,
for whatever reasons they want to. The thing that I think is the most interesting, it's like, first off, he was a extremely highly rated prospect, buzzed through the Dodgers minor league system, injuries, weirdness. He is a kind of a weird pitcher in general. But I think what's great is that he's going to be 28 years
hmm
old next year. So this is not like they're bringing in a a 37-year-old John Lester to just fill up some innings. There actually is some upside here, and if you look at his season last year, was not a great year. His stuff was diminished, yada yada yada. But he had the weirdest 600-ish days up until starting that season. So I think that combined with his age, I kind of think that there's a little to dream. Like you can bend over backwards a little bit to see the scenario in which Dustin May actually outperforms this $12 million contract pretty
yeah,
easily. I also think, like, if I had to put money on it right now, I would say that he probably manages like 20 starts and they're
yeah,
okay. But he has upside.
yeah. Well, and the um, Dodgers managed to trade him midseason last year for quite a good return,
Yeah.
all things considered. And so if he's even
Right.
just pitching at the deadline, you may be able to move him. But yeah, I think there's a reason he got 12.5 million and not like a 1 year $6 million deal or something like that. Like there's obviously some upside here, and teams are probably willing to pay for it. I do think he really needs two major things to really go well for this to be a full bounce back and a breakout year. It's got to be, and two things that he hasn't really done for a long time. He needs to stay healthy, and he needs to be effective. And, last year he was mostly healthy, but he still missed. What he ended up with something over 100 innings, but not much. He missed a bunch of time, and even when he was there,
Yeah.
he wasn't very healthy.
He threw 132 innings, 23 games started. and accrue just under 1 Fangraphs WAR.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that's a pretty reasonable projection. Which, I don't want to be a bummer about it because I actually really like the signing. This is the type of thing that the Cardinals should be doing. And so when we evaluate Heim Bloom and we look at the direction he's going in, like I like this move a lot. And I'm very, very hopeful that Dustin May explodes. And like best case, besides the trade, like you said, yeah, he breaks out, looks good. Cardinals extend him, and we have a new, quality starting pitcher. But realistically,
Yep.
it's probably not going to be that, but maybe. And I'm glad to have a chance at it, and not just another John Lester, J Happ, Josh Gibson.
No.
You know.
This is the kind of, like, if you look back as soon as, or as early as 2023, which is when the last year he pitched before all these crazy injuries happened. And if you were unaware, May had a very weird 2025. He was injured in 23, did not pitch at all in 24. While he was rehabbing in 2025, he suffered a tear in his esophagus from swallowing a piece of salad. It required emergency surgery. He spent 11 days in the hospital. And he almost died.
Yeah, I don't mean to laugh.
And
but
then once it's insane. Yeah. It is absolutely, it like makes me afraid to eat salad. And I was already afraid to eat salad, Nate. You know this about me.
You got there before I could.
I know. I could see your lips salivating over that one. And he started 18 games with the Dodgers before being traded, like he talked about. But like you look at his 2023 numbers, and in 48 innings, 9 games, he put up just under 1.5 FWAR, a 2.63 ERA, a 3.34 xERA, and his fastball was sitting a little over 97 miles per hour. Obviously, he had a long time off. He came back. His fastball was sitting around 95 miles per hour. He also changed up his pitch mix pretty significantly last year with the Dodgers and Red Sox. So I say all that to say, like, I really don't feel comfortable predicting what the hell Dustin May is going to look like, what his velo is going to be, what his pitch mix is going to be, anything coming into 2026. It seems like a huge mystery, and I'm hoping that, the Cardinals and our new staff and all our new brains are looking at this guy and saying, yeah, he had a dip in damn near everything last year, but here's why we think we can, do X, Y, and Z and improve his output and extract value, and then, like we said, move him or retain him.
Yeah. I'm in the trust phase with Heim Bloom and group, the Bloom and Goons. And I really won't, even if this ends up being a failure, I don't think that's a mark against them. Because this is what we wanted to see this offseason, is moves like this that are smart for a long-term rebuild.
Worst case scenario, Dustin May absolutely doesn't work in the starting rotation. You swap him out for whoever your favorite AAA starter is. Bryson Mouts or Tinkens maybe comes up, Quinn Matthews, whoever. You move Dustin May to the bullpen. He's done that before. And you have a guy with a turbo sinker in the bullpen. Best case scenario, he's the best pitcher on the team for at least the majority of 2026. So yeah, I think it's pretty easy. And even with that small dollar amount, like, if you have to drop the guy, you have to drop the guy. I don't think that's going to happen. But it's very light, and there's, a 1-year deal is easy.
Yeah.
Easy to swallow.
I don't like how you leaned in on that. I guess my only other question about this is this the only one of these that we're going to see? Or do you think, because the rotation technically is starting to fill out now, Dick Fitz, Dustin May, Liberatore, McGreevy, Palante, Leahy.
Palante. I have to imagine, if everything goes the way that the Cardinals want it to go, the rotation is somewhere like Liberatore, May, Fitz, McGreevy, Leahy right now.
Yeah.
I think that the Cardinals will probably not bring in another Dustin May projecty starter. What I do think is going to happen is that when we trade Willson Contreras or uh, Brendan Donovan, that a under 25-year-old starter is going to
Yeah.
come into the organization from that trade and be a rotation member. And I think ideally that means that either Palante is just not a part of the conversation, Leahy's not a part of the conversation as far as the starting rotation is concerned, and we're kind of leaning into this new young thing. I don't expect all of those guys to throw 160 to 180 innings, so we'll probably see some type of rotation, and I'm sure Palante and Leahy will pick up starts at some point
Yeah.
during the season. But I do think another starter is coming. I think it's going to come from the trade market, and I hope it's somebody who is like. Now, this isn't saying a lot because our rotation doesn't really strike fear in anybody right now. But somebody who's at the top of that rotation is what I'm
Yeah.
expecting.
Yeah. I think you're right. This is probably the only free agent signing, which is a little disappointing. I think we had some hopes, maybe, of the Cardinals taking advantage of a pretty robust pitching market and snagging one of these veterans that are still young and could be had on, I'm circling around saying I still really want the Cardinals to sign like Michael King, but I don't think that's going to happen. It was probably never on the table unless a contract falls into their lap, which could still maybe happen, but
Yep.
probably not. And that's okay.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, next year there are some interesting starting pitchers that will be available too. Maybe that's the year, or for all we know, maybe the Cardinals, maybe the call is coming from inside the house. Maybe we have a couple of guys that are going to elevate, and then we go and sign a Freddie Peralta to a big, expensive long-term deal, and the team's starting to look pretty ferocious in 27, 28, or whenever that happens to be. But yeah, I think it's fine. We are having roster turnover, and the fact that like we're still bringing people in means that we're raising the ceiling, and like I said, they're like bringing in these like high variance, high ceiling guys that's really all I want this year. That's the shit.
It's just nice to be doing something, you know?
It's nice to be doing something. Oh my god, yes.
There was a little list.
We have a new player to
Yeah.
talk about.
There was a list going around like right before the Dustin May signing was announced. And it was like, here are the teams that have still not made a single free agent signing. And the Cardinals were on that list. It was only like 5 teams on the list, and the Cardinals were one of them. And I was like, oh, it's coming. We know. They're working on
Yeah.
something. Which was such a breath of fresh air from how it was last year, where it's just like, what are we doing? Are we doing anything? Is there any effort towards improving this team now or tomorrow or the next year? And it's like, oh, okay, no, there's not. So it's just it's very nice to see moves.
I feel very confident that we're going to have 6-ish more player acquisition or players acquired to talk about before the winter is over, too. I think, we have obviously Donovan and Contreras and Arenado and maybe Newt and others. We're going to have a lot of players to talk about, a lot of new names. Yeah, I feel very confident in that right now. Maybe we'll be proven wrong, but today I feel great about it.
Yeah. Well, there's still rumors going around. That's the big move. That's the only move from the last week. But there still are a bunch of rumors. We're getting some more clarity on the market for some of our guys. You want to give us a rundown on some of this recent news?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about Dustin May a little bit longer,
Okay.
though, if that's all right with you.
Of course.
Will you allow that?
Proceed, Governor.
So I did want to, just because we haven't had a new player to kind of analyze in what feels like a very long time. So I kind of wanted to like talk about what he's been doing, why he is so different, and what to maybe expect. But Dustin May was primarily sinker curveball for a long time. Completely ditched the curveball last year and changed his slider into a sweeper. So he's now kind of like a cutter fastball sweeper guy. And he has some other pitches too, but they're not very good. I wanted to detail a couple of interesting, or what I thought was interesting changes. Maybe you don't think these are interesting.
We'll see.
But from 23 to 25, his fastball velocity dipped, like I talked about, almost 2 miles per hour. That also really drastically changed the shape of it. The vertical drop with gravity, he lost about 4 inches, he gained about 4 inches, but he lost 2 miles per hour. It started breaking less, and it broke more horizontally. So it had less ride, it was dropping more, and a little more movement, which that kind of means essentially not a huge change other than the fact it's just it is a huge change. It's a completely different shape fastball. And he's kind of avoided using it. He used to throw his sinker the most of any pitch, and be really just fastball heavy in general. He threw his sweeper almost 40% of the time last year. Is that good?
Well, so is that someone who's...
It doesn't rate very well, which is the curious part. His curveball rated extremely well, and his sinker, when he had his velocity and carry, rated also one of the best sinkers in baseball.
Is it, he doesn't have the velo anymore, so he's trying to mold into more of a crafty guy, more of a spin guy, and just mix it up more, trying to evolve?
The big question, I think his sinker went from averaging a little over 96 miles per hour to a little over 94 miles per hour. He did increase the drop on it, but that's mostly because of gravity, and it just has more time to travel. And the horizontal break stayed exactly the same. So it's what I think the big question is did he lower his velocity to try to stop getting arm surgeries because he has been extremely injured?
Yeah.
Like, all he has done is gotten injured. So is he trying to protect himself, which would make sense? Or does he think that leaning on the more east to west movement is going to lead to more strikeouts? Because if he can actually start throwing that sweeper, he has a cutter that's decent, and we know he's got the sinker. If he can develop those into a repertoire that leads to more strikeouts, which has kind of been not a problem for him, but not something he's great at, especially a guy like he's almost like Joe Kelly. You watch Joe Kelly and you're like, how is this guy not striking out every batter he faces? And it's just something with his movement profile or the way in which he's hiding the ball or not hiding the ball or whatever it is. So we don't know the answer to this yet, but I'll be very curious to see, is the fastball velocity back? Does he want the fastball velocity back? Is it going to be more about the breaking stuff? And if he's going to lean into his new repertoire, can he focus? Can he lock his control down to become more effective? Because when you throw 98, 99 with movement, kind of don't really need to know where the ball is going. Yeah. You just try to get over the plate. Don't throw a meatball. You should be good. When you lose a significant amount of velocity like he has, that makes it's much more of a tightrope walk than it was when you were throwing triple digits.
Yeah, I saw someone say, when he misses over the plate, which is a bad place to be,
right?
Especially with reduced velocity. Yeah, it kind of boils down to, is the reduced velocity intentional or unintentional? Is it now he just can't throw as hard as he used to, and he's trying to trick guys a little bit more, or is it all an intentional thing that he's just to reduce injury and evolve as a pitcher? I don't know.
And for what it's worth, he threw almost like 70 more ish innings than he had ever thrown in a major league season, reducing his fastball velocity. So it's like, well, that seems like maybe the right move, because it's availability is important.
Well, that's the tricky balance where we talked about right when we opened this. He needs to do two things. He needs to stay healthy, which he only did ever last year. Mostly, it still wasn't the healthiest season, but
the esophagus thing was not his fault. I would say that is freak injury.
I was thinking Hambone. I had a salad the other day, and I
think that's what's wrong with your voice.
My throat's all messed up. Maybe
was that your first salad?
Yeah. I'm trying to get into shape for the holidays. Classic.
That's what we all are doing. I get it. Classic thing we all do. Got to get that beach
Uh-huh.
body ready for sitting under the tree, opening presents.
Eating cookies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get your abs out.
So it's
Nate's a big abs guy. He's all about his abs.
Yeah. Come
washboard.
Yep. I wear a lot of crop tops to Christmas.
It's cute.
Yeah, thank you.
I guess with the weather this year, you'll be able to.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
Going to the pool. Ugh, man, this sucks.
You sound like shit. Yeah, sip your tea. I guess I'll keep talking. All right, Nate. Now we can move on to talking more about the trade rumors. I just had to get a little
it is
more
very
out
interesting
on what we're seeing from Dustin May, and I'm gonna to put a button on that. I think Dustin May is going to pitch really well.
Yeah.
I don't think his red hair is going to clash with the Cardinals' red
important part.
Uniforms. I think it's going to look good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm kind of excited to get to know him. He's always just been a guy that's like a really interesting looking, and I don't really know much about him. But just like he's 6'6", I think he's listed at 6'6", 180.
Wow.
Which is like a scarecrow ass looking dude. He throws really hard.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited, and I don't think he's coming to push the Cardinals to win the Central or anything like that. But it's a fun arm, a fun guy, and we'll have some fun watching him hopefully pitch effectively.
We might have an early idea in spring on what he's if he comes out pumping 96 again, 97, like could be exciting.
Could be very exciting. And I think like you said, like I'm gonna have faith in the Cardinals development staff. There's reports coming out of winter meetings about how like the Cardinals just have more people there now. And I think that's gotta be good. Gotta be good from where we came.
All right. So what else is going on?
The Cardinals are actively engaged in trade discussions involving Brendan Donovan, JoJo Romero, and Willson Contreras. Teams like the Giants and Mariners have emerged as frontrunners for Donnie, with significant interest generating strong potential returns. The Cardinals are looking for a blend of pitching at various levels, major league ready, close to the majors, and high upside. And there's a couple of prospects that were kind of thrown out in conversations with these teams. I believe Katie Wu, who is still reporting on Cardinals happenings, was the one to throw out these names. But for the potential deal, I should say, with the Mariners, what I thought was really exciting was the name Durangelo I can't say the last name. Sagenti was reported. And, we don't really know if that's going to be available or not. But if you're not familiar with Durangelo, he is the switch pitcher who throws from the left and the right side. Seems like he could be like a big time, middle of the order pitcher from the right side and maybe more of a loogie from the left side. But
it's fun.
How bad? I just want for the. It seems like he's actually legitimately going to be a good pitcher, or has the potential to be good, and the fact that he is such an athletic freak that he can do something like that. How bad do you want to see Shohei Ohtani come up and Durangelo goes to the other side and starts tossing them, lefty breaking balls, and then when Mookie Betts comes up, he flips back over and he's throwing mid-90s. On the right side. Like that's just incredible.
It's very fun. If anyone's out there interested, how this works is because what you want it to be is that like you're throwing right, left, right. You're like going back and forth. But that's not how it works. He declares for the at bat which side he's going to throw from, and then I believe the pitcher declares first. So if there's a switch hitter,
I believe so. Yeah.
So he would declare, and then the hitter declares, and then they're locked in for the whole at bat, which is boring.
Yeah, because we had the
back and forth. I think that'd be so much fun.
The A's had a guy
it's not the first.
Who did this, whose name I can't remember right now. Maybe the bird score to help us remember. But obviously, like, could not be more on board for bringing that guy into the fold. I think that Donovan on the Mariners makes a lot of sense. There was also the Cardinals were also linked to Lazaro Montes, who is a monster man, patrolling the outfield in Seattle's minor leagues. If you're not familiar with him, he is 6'5", .210. He's only 21 years old and has put up some really nice walk rates, homer numbers, just a big old young masher down there in Double A and probably Triple A for the Mariners this year.
This guy, when I saw that name on the list, I was like, ooh, that would be exciting. Now, big time risk, but I don't know if the Cardinals have had a power prospect like Montez in their minors in a long time.
Jordan Walker.
Yeah, but even Jordan Walker, like Montez is the guy who, like, Jordan Walker, a lot of people put power projections on him because of his size, but he hadn't really done it. I think Gorman is the better, like, better comp, where you're like, this guy might hit 220, but he also might hit 40 bombs. Montez, I think, is a similar type of profile with real hit tool risk, but will hit like moonshot bombs, which would
sounds like a lot of fun.
I know. Well, I was surprised that he was even potentially on the board. So if the Cardinals somehow got both of those guys, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. The Cardinals are also, when we were talking about, as reported by Katie Wu, a couple of interesting Giants players were Carson Whisenhunt, the starting pitcher prospect, and Gavin Klein, who is a middle infield prospect. I think this is just inherently less exciting than the Mariners, like just by the fact that you don't have Durangelo how do you say it?
Sagenti, I believe.
Sagenti.
Yeah.
It is spelled very. I'll figure it out if we get him, especially. I think just inherently less sexy, but two good players. It's Carson Whisenhunt, somebody who could slot into the Cardinals rotation tomorrow and be somebody who you have, a decent level of faith that he'll succeed. And then Gavin Klein, maybe less exciting middle infield guy that can hit a little bit, run a little bit, glove a little bit. But I think it's interesting to see whether these deals come to fruition or not, kind of what level of packages the Cardinals might be able to get for Donnie. And the fact that there's like this ongoing competition hopefully just speaks or improves the Cardinals' ability to bring in somebody really exciting.
I was wrong, Ambo, and I decided to actually look it up.
Oh, good.
Sinja.
Sinja. If you're curious, it is spelledCijntje. Say it one more time.
Sinja.
Durangelo Sinja. Okay. Sinja is easier to say for me, so I'll commit that. He's also a switch hitter, Nate. Did you know that? Kind of makes sense, right? If you can throw from both, you can hit from both.
Yeah, I imagine he just does like he's probably obnoxious with it. You know what I mean? He's probably like, got a sign.
I'm sure he has never been bad at anything athletic his entire life. So that it probably is extremely obnoxious.
He goes to sign the dinner receipt. And he's like, oh, here, which hand?
Oh, well, either way, even if he is obnoxious, I definitely take him on the Cardinals.
Yeah. We've also been starting to get rumors around Willson Contreras. We talked about this a little bit last week. I think we share the take that we'll be happy if we can get a really good return for Willson, but also very fine to just keep rolling with Contreras. Where does the news stand right now?
Yeah, so, Pete Alonso, we talked about that. He got signed last week, and that has really been kind of what's kicked off the Willson Contreras buzz. And it seems like the Red Sox, who were rumored to be in on Pete Alonso, are interested in Willson Contreras. They also seem to be checking in on everyone right now. So I don't know what that's worth, but they seem to have tendrils all over the place. And then the Mets, even though they just signed Jorge Polanco, who seems like he's going to be kind of a DH, first base, middle infield, whatever, probably most likely a DH for the next year at least. They're talking about potentially trading for Willson Contreras and even moving Mark Vientos, which would be an interesting turn of events from my point of view. But two teams that have a lot of money and are trying to win now, which is obviously a good position for the Cardinals if you're trying to extract some good young talent from them. We talked about we didn't talk about Nolan McLean. Probably the only guy that's not legitimately on the table for Willson Contreras. I guess I'm having could the Cardinals realistically get Jonah Tong from the Mets for Willson Contreras, or am I like way out on this one?
Yeah.
How bad do people want Willson Contreras?
I think you start looking at a package at that point. You know, I've said I think he's really good value, and I think he would make any of these teams better. But I think they'll look at a guy who's not getting any younger, is paid
he isn't.
$28 million a year, and while his bat has been very good, last year wasn't the real breakout. Oh, we got a full season of Willson. He hit 30 bombs. He was good, and I think he'll be good. And, if he does ever get 650 plate appearances in a season, I do think he'll probably hit 30 plus home runs, but it just hasn't happened, and he's not getting any younger. So I think there's a lot of risk there, and I'd be really surprised for a team to move a young starter who's like in MLB or near and is looking like a next big thing, Nolan McLean. I don't think
not him.
I don't think the Cardinals have someone they could trade for him. A JJ
I think we do.
Weatherholt plus,
I think we do.
Yeah,
Weatherholt would get it done. Or that would start to get it done. So that leads to another interesting rumor that's been percolating around is the Tristan Casas for Willson Contreras swap. I don't know if it'd be a one-to-one. I think a one-to-one might actually make a lot of sense for both teams. Tristan coming off of just injury after injury. He only played 29 games last year and was pretty bad in those 29 games. But previous to that, carried around a 120 WRC plus over a few seasons. But it's an interesting move. He's a big old guy. He's interesting. He's a lefty. He's a good first baseman. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. There's also obviously the connection between him and Chaim Bloom. Chaim Bloom wanting to get some guy that I think we've talked about Tristan Casas probably a weird amount for being a Cardinals podcast. I think we're pretty, or at least I'm pretty sold on what his potential could be.
Yeah, just looking through the previous years for him, coming out of 2023, Casas was like everybody's darling pick for the prototypical, the first baseman who hits a bunch of home runs, carries an okay average, plays the position well. Like everybody wants this guy at first base, and that's what it looked like it was going to be. And then he's had back-to-back years of, not unlike Dustin May, a combination of both bad health and bad performance. But when you look at even the projection systems, which are very conservative generally, Steamer is projecting him to have a 115 WRC plus in 2026, so still 15% above average because the power is there. The plate approach generally still looks to be there. He just hasn't been able to stay on the field. So I don't know. Is that what you need right now? Is that what the Cardinals should be trading for? Is a big first baseman with health concerns and productivity concerns? I don't know.
I think you have potential to win the value side of that trade, which is good.
Yeah.
You does it make sense for the way the Cardinals are organized right now? No. I think we've talked about Alec Burleson and the problem that is positioning him.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of has to be, if he's going to be on the team, he kind of has to be your first baseman. We don't want a full-time DH, especially when you're in rebooting mode, because you want to be able to cycle anybody through that position. So if you acquire if you acquire Tristan Casas, he's not playing the outfield. That means Alec Burleson's playing the outfield, and you don't want that to be happening. So that means Alec Burleson is going to be DHing a lot, which means Ivan Herrera won't be DHing as much.
Yeah.
And it kind of just throws a wrench in it. I think the best move would be for the Cardinals to move on from Contreras, bring back anybody else really other than
it's like almost
Alec
anything
Burleson to
else.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the good thing, like the Mets have a lot of interesting young pitchers.
Yeah.
The Red Sox have a lot of young, interesting players, period. But I wonder, because he is going to be 33, 34 next year, the $20 million thing, are the Cardinals going to buy down the salary at all? What, like, I really am not, I don't feel comfortable predicting the trade value of a over 33-year-old first baseman.
Yeah.
Because first basemen are like, I was kind of shocked that Pete Alonso got as much money as he actually did. If I was the Orioles, I would have traded for Willson Contreras over giving Pete Alonso $155 million over that length of contract. But
Yeah.
then you have to give up some of your assets, and Mike Elias doesn't like to do that. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Costas though, full stop. Like outside of the Cardinals' current makeup, I like Costas.
That's where I'm torn because I mean, hey, if you get him and just so happens to line up with those early year injury prone guys, you're injury prone until you're not, and they get him starting at age 26, which is right when these power guys typically really come into form, and all of a sudden you've got the next slugging first baseman for several years of control. Like, hey, we'll figure out the position stuff. That's better than Alec Burleson. That's better than anybody else. We don't have like a big slugging first baseman coming up, So, like, if it works out in exactly that way, sure, we're looking for the best players right now. Kind of doesn't matter where they fit. We'll fit them in eventually. But it's just that's like the one place where you're like, I'd prefer to not go and acquire someone to lock up the first base position.
It's also like we haven't really heard anything, but I don't know if it's 100% guaranteed that Alec Burleson is going to be on this team.
Yeah.
I know for obvious reasons, teams are banging down the Cardinals' door for Brendan Donovan. And I think for almost as obvious reasons, Willson Contreras. But like they have to be fielding calls on Alec Burleson. Now, the Cardinals obviously value him and his bat, I think, at a degree that might be disproportionate to the rest of MLB. But I wonder, maybe you move both of those guys.
Yeah, well, that changes everything, right? If you trade Contreras and Burleson, and now you're installing Casas at first base, and you've got openings elsewhere for whoever you're acquiring or some of our other younger guys, that makes more sense.
Joshua Baez.
Yeah, but it seemed to me that trading Contreras is partly in purpose to move Burleson over to first. But again, Burleson doesn't really. I just wish he could play outfield okay, because the bat, like, he's obviously a competent hitter. Just doesn't his whole value proposition changes if he's just a first baseman or a DH. Just doesn't stack up as much.
Yeah, Guardians should trade for him.
There you go. They'll figure out how to use it.
I think they'd make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right. Outside of that, the only other note I had was this. As per Derek Gould, as per Katie Woo, and as per us on this podcast, the Nolan Arenado thing is going to be a slog. I really think we're waiting for Bregman to sign. Really curious how that ends up going. Honestly, I think teams who are looking at Donovan, the Donovan sweepstakes might be throwing a little bit of wrench in people who are interested in Nolan Arenado because you could play Donnie at third base. And you'd obviously rather have him. It's just going to be a slog. I hope it happens for all of our sakes, including Arenado's sake. I'm sure he doesn't like this has to, if you're Nolan Arenado, you're currently a borderline Hall of Famer. Some people would argue that you are a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You're still relatively young in people years, and the news cycle that includes your name is cat ears too. Is God, nobody will take this guy.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Well, and we know he's a hyper competitive guy. I mean, he's fine. He's like, oh man, going over to his multitude of mansions or whatever. But definitely, I'm sure it's a disappointing place to be in. Um, yeah, I think he's he's like the last choice on the market, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Womp
Yeah.
womp. All right. I think that's all we got.
Well, we're going to talk about all the other trades and movement around through the offseason so far and play a little game. But before we do that, we want to remind everyone that this show is listener supported by listeners like you. Hey, it's a holiday season. Are you in the giving season?
Oh my God.
Do you want to pay for the surgery to remove the lettuce from my throat? I think that's what it is.
I should have just done the whole read here. I don't know why you're doing this.
Well, we're this far in already. Patreon.com/talking about birds. Check it out. We appreciate all of you, all of our patrons. Thank you. Also, if you leave a review on your favorite podcast platform, that really helps. And if you tell your friends, tell your family, as you're gathered around the Yule log, as you're eating your milk.
What is a Yule log?
Well, I know there's a dessert that's called a Yule log, and then I think it's like a fire log.
Okay. Asked and answered. You nailed it.
Hambone, you take the rest.
Okay, yeah. Like Nate said, we got the Patreon. Review us, share us. We're nice. Yeah. It helps quite a bit. We're also on all the socials. You can follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, or the TikTok if you want to come and look at us over there. You can watch this episode on youtube.com/talkingaboutbirds. If you'd like to look at the different kinds of hats Nate and I are wearing today, one's blue and one's orange. You're going to have to find out which is which. You can check us out on YouTube. You can find all the podcast information, access to t-shirts, the Patreon, everything like that at talkingaboutbirds.com. Of course, you can email us at talkaboutbirds@gmail.com, and you can call us and leave a voicemail or send us a text message to 848-48-BIRDS. That's 848-482-4737.
848-48-BIRDS. All right, Ambone. We've touched on a few of these already, but let's dig in. What do we got going around the league? What are the other teams up to?
Yeah, we just talked about this one, but the Mets have brought in Jorge Polanco on a 2-year, $40 million deal. It's fun. The Mets are funny right now. They've lost Pete Alonso. They've lost Edwin Diaz. They traded Brandon Nimmo. It sounds like they're going to move on from Jeff McNeil and Mark Vientos. And then they bring in kind of the breakout late career superstar from last year in the World Series, Jorge Polanco, on a short deal with I'm not sure if you'll agree with me or not, a pretty high AAV for Jorge Polanco, to kind of not really have a fixed role, but to help protect Juan Soto, to, I guess, be in the new mix with Lindor and Simeon. I think it's kind of an interesting move. I don't know if I love it, but they acquire a hitter who performed extremely well last year.
Yeah. Significant ballpark upgrade moving from Seattle over there. So, I keep seeing him being listed as their new first baseman, which, things can change. But it makes sense that he'd get the plurality of at-bats there at this point. But it certainly wouldn't stop them from going in and getting someone else. But I do think it significantly impacts the Willson Contreras side. I was also surprised, $20 million a year.
I just, like, what I don't get, though, is if he's going to be your first baseman, you trade for Marcus Simeon, who is an excellent second baseman. You get rid of Brandon Nimmo, who is a poor outfielder. You get rid of Pete Alonso, who's a poor first baseman. It seems very clear like they are prioritizing defense. Yeah. And getting Jorge Polanco would not align with that because he is not a good defender anywhere.
No.
So I'm not sure I understand the methodology here, unless it's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
They lost a lot of slug with Alonso, and so they may just be, we got to make up for it somewhere.
Do you think, in your little tiny black heart, that Jorge Polanco is going to have a sluggy year next year?
No, I don't. I think
either.
I think they bought high.
Yeah. Yeah. And he did. He had an amazing year last year. There were parts of the season where he was like one of the best hitters in baseball. But he has done this. It's just,
Well, he's very streaky.
I want it.
He's very, very streaky.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, as you get older, those streaks don't get longer. They get shorter. But I don't know. Maybe he's got another year or two of magic in him. That's what they're banking on, right?
Yeah. Interesting move, to say the least. All right, moving down the list, the Diamondbacks bring back Merrill Kelly, also 2 years, also $40 million.
All of this makes way more sense to me.
Yes.
He's a 37-year-old pitcher, came off of a really good year for them. I'm not quite sure what direction the Diamondbacks are going in, but I think either way, this is a good deal for them. If they go full rebuild, you can probably move that contract, assuming he's pitching well. Or if they're competing, then you've got your veteran guy that is on a reasonable contract that's been with you and is, pretty good when he's on.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. They are in a weird spot. The big thing is Corbin Burns is not going to pitch at all this year, who is their second best player, arguably. And it seems like I would bet a very crisp dollar bill that Ketel Marte is not going to be a Diamondback by the time the season starts.
Yeah.
So you are down two of your three best players going into 2026. It kind of feels like let's reload a little bit this year and see what we got. Like, is Jordan Lawler going to take over third base or second base? Are they going to go sign Alex Bregman?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the
base?
new rumor, right? They're in on Bregman.
Maybe. I don't really know. Like, this team, Merrill Kelly is your number one, as opposed to Merrill Kelly being your number two and Corbin Burns being your number one. Just a very different looking baseball team. Yeah. But they still have Perdomo, who had the quietest 7-WAR season in the history of baseball. They still have Corbin Carroll, who I think is only going to get better as long as his shoulder stays attached to him. There are reasons to like this team. They're weird though.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't know.
And
you have to take into account what division they're in too.
Feels a little Cardinals 2023, 2024.
Well, I would, if we had a Corbin Carroll on our team, I think I would have had a lot more fun watching those teams.
That's true.
All right, another former Cardinals legend, Adolis Garcia, signs a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. Looks like he is slated to be their right fielder. And, I think I like this move. I think, if he hits it all, that's great. I think it's is $10 million. Would you give somebody who is excellent at every single part of the game, except for hitting, $10 million and right field? Because he can run, he can play defense, he can throw. But I mean, he's had a 600 OPS for 2 years in a row.
Yeah. So I get the upside here. Fun guy, fun power speed combo. Put up 5 WAR a few years ago, or almost 5. I get it, but this to me looks like a guy whose hit tool is just completely collapsed, and it's gonna take a full rework to bring that back around, because he doesn't walk,
right?
And he's one of those guys. They're a lot of fun when they're on. You think Javier Baez, he swings hard at everything. He's insanely athletic. So if he makes any contact at all, he's got a chance at getting on base. But, they typically, the older they get, it just doesn't sustain. It's been 2 years now of that for him. And I don't know, maybe the Phillies can turn it around. But Rangers are pretty good at developing hitters. They gave him 2 full years there of, again, 83 WRC plus. Out of right field, he was worth negative 0.7 WAR last year.
You read the first 3 guys in their lineup: Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. Ooh la la!
Yeah.
Let's go to the races. you love their starting pitching, right? Even with Zach Wheeler out, you bring in Andrew Painter, and he's not Zach Wheeler, but Christopher Sanchez, Jesus Luzardo. You're feling good about
Well,
that.
Wheeler
I think
might
Painter
pitch.
is going to be
Wheeler's saying.
Oh, I didn't know
Wheeler's.
that. No.
This was a little bit ago, but I thought he's saying he's going to pitch this year. So.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Even better. But then you look after that, and it's Alex Bohm, Brandon Marsh, Adolis Garcia, Bryson Stott, Rafael Marchand, and Justin Crawford, and that just does not feel like a win now team. I can't imagine they're done. They have Nick Castellanos currently slated to be on their bench bat. Like, I guess he comes in against lefties. I kind of think Castellanos is cooked at this point in his career. The Phillies can't be done, right? You can't give Kyle Schwarber $150 million in his age 33 season and then call this your lineup when it's so top heavy.
No, they shouldn't be. And if Zach Wheeler is pitching and he is still retiring at the end of this year, as was his, or maybe it was 27. Either way,
whenever his contract is over,
they're at like the end of the run with him. They should be shoving in, So I'd be surprised if they're done.
He has one more year on his contract after 26. Okay. So I believe that's what he said. Yeah, I agree. I think they need another bat. We've talked about this. I think that they make sense for Arenado. And I just can't believe that's not really a bat, but I do think that would make their team better. I can't believe that a team with World Series aspirations would be running out Marsh, Garcia, and Crawford and kind of Castellanos and Kemp as their outfield. That just does not.
Crawford is at least a young,
just doesn't work.
Has some upside, so you could hope on.
Sure.
He's a prospect, hoping he breaks and is good.
Right.
So there's at least that.
Right.
But everyone else, you're like, you kind of know what you're getting, and it's probably not very good.
And Brandon Marsh is a wet guy,
We normally like that though.
Oh yeah,
we like wet guys.
All right, another semi-interesting deal, and I guess by interesting I mean disappointing. The Giants signed Adrian Hauser to a 2-year, $22 million deal. Looks like he's slated to be right in the middle of their rotation, obviously topped by Logan Webb and Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray had a good year last year.
He did.
He's got stuff, and this is a team that I think is trying to win, right?
Yeah.
So why are we doing things like signing Adrian Hauser for $22 million? I don't really get it.
Well, like you just said it, he was pretty good last year. If this is, it all comes in a context of the team build. It is, if this is their only addition, you're like, well, what are we doing here? But if all of a sudden now he's your fourth starter or whatever, you'd be pretty happy with that. I think he's going to pitch pretty well in that ballpark. I thought of
they
him,
have a lot of.
I thought of him as maybe a
lot of. They should have got Ranger Suarez.
Yeah,
they should have got Ranger Suarez, or
so could.
Who's the guy from the Rangers?
Eovaldi,
or not the guy from the Rangers. I'm sorry, the guy from the Astros.
Valdez.
Yeah. They should be there.
Well, they might.
They should be up there.
They might be. That's why you say I think this is a good deal, and I think it's going to work for them. It's a good ballpark. He pitched really well last year, super low dollar. I would have been happy if the Cardinals did this for the same reasons,
Yeah.
But it's not exciting, but he should be a pretty good pitcher for them.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I think the Giants need to do a lot more. Maybe acquiring Brendan Donovan. Remember Brendan Rodgers? He used to be a guy. All right. Luke Weaver. This happened right before we hopped on the pod. The New York Mets signed Luke Weaver, former Cardinal great, 2 years, $22 million, just like Adrian Hauser. Looks like he's going to slot in the back of the bullpen right behind their new acquisition, Devin Williams. It is funny that in the last 2 seasons, the Mets have signed Juan Soto, Devin Williams, Luke Weaver. Wait, is Clay Holmes, did he come from the Braves or the...
That was Yankees.
Yankees.
It was Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees. Is that everybody? I think that's everybody.
Yeah, that's funny.
Am I missing anyone? Just kind of funny how that has worked out. Crosstown rivals.
This was said in the Birds Court. It might have been Jake. This makes it even more clear or more obvious of a JoJo to Yankees fit, being even more clear. Yeah.
Yeah, just for the sake of JoJo's hair, I hope that doesn't happen because that would require a haircut and a bit of a trim on his beard.
Well, they changed that,
But
didn't
yeah,
they?
I mean,
Then was it's
it can be well maintained. You could have like your beard, the thing that you're rocking right now.
Excuse me?
No go. That would not make it on the Mets.
my God.
And honestly, my hair is not making
Yeah.
it on the Mets either.
Or
Or the Mets. Sorry, the Yankees. The
Yeah.
Yankees. I apologize.
they'd never bring you in. It's America's team.
Am I inherently anti-American or
Look at
something?
you.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Yeah, yeah. I guess I'm open to that. I mean, I don't really care who trades for JoJo Romero. Give me Spencer Jones for JoJo. Let's do it, guys.
Talk about
He's
high
available.
risk, high reward guys. Yeah.
Just give me more guys over 6'5".
Yeah.
We got Dustin May. We got Jordan Walker. Give me some Spencer. All right.
How big is
You have more?
the new Matt Pussard? Wasn't he big?
Is he over 6'5"?
He's a big boy. I mean, it might have been like 6'4".
I don't care enough to look it up. Look it up yourself.
Fine.
The we talked about this already, but the Braves brought back Ha-Seong Kim on a 1-year, $20 million deal. He played a bit of a season last year. It was not good. He's still a very good defender. He's still only 30 years old, which is insane. Really hoping for a bounce back for him now that he's fully healthy. And the Braves, I think this could be a really, really nice upgrade for them at shortstop.
Yeah. Matt Pussard, 6'4", 250 pounds. So
that's a big boy.
big boy.
Yeah.
Yes. So Ha-Seong Kim, I think this is a good deal. I think that while you're right, he did not play much last year, but if you peek under the hood, while his surface stats were not great, there was some exciting things in the small sample size that tell you he might still have plenty in the tank. He apparently turned down a 3-year, almost $50 million contract from the Athletics, which is interesting.
I think I might too.
Yeah, well, higher AAV, and you also get to play for the Braves, not the Athletics.
That's an easy choice for me.
Yeah. But I mean, still a $50 million deal. Like, you never know. Like, if he's bad this year, like there's not going to be a huge contract in his future,
No, but he gets $20 million right now,
Sure.
and
good
to go.
And a starting shortstop for the Braves. So I think it's going to be good.
And
I think he's going to be good.
I think the Braves are going to be really good this year. They're going to have a full year of Strider, Schwellenbach.
Acuna, hopefully,
they have
the whole year.
I mean, they're going to actually have Jurickson Profar on the team. We'll see if he is a hitter still. Rookie of the year, Drake Baldwin. I think they're going to kind of return to dominance this year. Last year was kind of bizarre anyways. All right, and finally a little bit of trade talk. The Brewers trade Isaac Collins to the Royals for Angel Zerpa. A kind of surprising move. I mean, I guess it makes sense from the Brewers' point of view to trade one of that kind of like lump of guys under 6 foot who maybe are outperformed their offensive projections and might not ever do that again. Interesting move for both sides, I say.
Yeah, pretty surprising. I think he fourth in Rookie of the Year voting, put up 2.6 FWAR as a rookie.
As a 28-year-old rookie, I think that's an important data point.
Yes. Projections have him coming in around 1 next year. I think it's a sell high. But also it's not a sell too high because they got a reliever. It's not like they got a mega return. But Zerp was pretty well regarded, and the Brewers are saying they may have him start. So
yeah,
I think
everybody's doing that. Why not?
I think annoyingly, what's going to happen is Collins is going to be a utility player, and Zerpa is going to be fucking striking out 13 Cardinals a week in like 2027.
Yeah. They have. I mean, I don't think I'll ever the seasons that Quinn Priester and Andrew Vaughn had last year, I think have just like
I know they're what we used to be as Cardinal fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, a couple of Central teams make a deal. It'll probably work out for the Brewers, and that's all I got for league news, Nate.
All right, Hambone, we're going to return to a game that I think you actually invented last year. That was kind of fun. We're going to do draft day, big money free agent game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You remember this?
I kind of do. Can you remind me the rules?
So we're going to do a draft. We're going to
Okay.
look at the remaining free agents, and we're going to select from the remaining free agents. And at the end of when offseason's done, we're going to add up the guaranteed money that the free
Okay.
agents got. And
Okay.
whoever has the most money wins.
Right.
Okay. I was thinking 4 players each. How do you feel about that?
4 players each. Yeah, that works. I think the big question is who gets the first overall pick, because I think there's the first overall pick and then there's everybody else.
Yeah. So last year,
Maybe who gets the first overall pick, the other person should get a 5th pick, because I think it is that unbalanced. I'm of the opinion that it's that unbalanced. What do you think?
yeah, you really think Bader's going to get that much?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not saying it just in case you're a total idiot and you fuck this up and you have first overall pick.
so we could do that. We could also, if we do it like snake style, where you do person who goes first overall, the next person gets 2 picks, and then 2
Okay.
might make up for that a little bit. I think last year we like cut out a bunch of guys thinking like, oh, it's not gonna like they'll break the game, and then when we were done, we're like, we shouldn't have done that. It just like,
Yeah.
it was totally unpredictable. So we could.
You're running the game. You do whatever you think.
We'll
is
do
right, Nate.
first overall, and then it goes 1, 2 picks, and then 2 picks, and then 2 picks.
Okay. All right. I can do that.
Okay. How should we decide who goes first?
Do you have like a coin or something you can flip over there?
Yeah, I do. Hold on.
Good podcast. Are you going to cut this out or
No,
is
this will be
staying
in.
Jesus.
All right.
Sorry, everybody.
Uh,
If you're a first-time listener, we're normally a lot better.
yeah,
than
I
this.
normally sound way worse than this. So, all right.
While you're doing that, I'm going to shout out to the Cardinal subreddit for saying nice things.
Oh
about
yeah,
us.
yeah. Thank you, whoever you are.
appreciate
out there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm using my D20 calculator here. I'm gonna roll a D2 Hambone. So give me a 1 or a 2.
2, baby. Let's go. Big old number 2.
It's a 2. So
There we go.
you're going to get the first overall pick.
Dang, that just makes it a little less interesting for me, but obviously I'm happy to take this player. I think the clear answer. Although, Nate, where's this guy going to sign? I mean, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
Give me Kyle Tucker,
Yeah.
number 1 overall. I think he's going to go over 250. And probably, I guess not Shane Bieber. Cease already signed. He's not in this game.
Yeah.
But he'll probably be the only other guy over 200 this year.
Yeah. I do think it was a clear number 1. I don't think there's any question about that. I do think it'll be interesting to see where he goes, and maybe there's a chance he ends up with a shorter deal, because his last 2 years have been kind of weird, So he
Yeah.
might do like a 3-year thing, if he can't get the right what he's probably looking for 12 years, whatever.
I really think the Jays are going to sign him. I think it's going to be under 10 years, though. I don't think anybody's going to have to go that long for Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, so I'm gonna go
2 for you.
2 for me, none for you. I think this might be a long shot here, Hambone, but what people will pay for this, everyone else on the list, there's a chance for shorter deals. I think I'm gonna go pocket aces here, Hambone, and I'm gonna take Ranger Suarez and Framber Valdez.
Oh, I'm very happy you went this direction. That's great.
Okay. All right. I just see
You did exactly what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Or what I wanted you to do.
I
I'm
fell
sorry.
into your trap.
fallen into my trap, senor.
Okay, who you got?
Okay. Do you want any reason you want to go anything you want to add to that, or you like the guys?
So everyone else here at this top, I think, has odds of shorter term deals or just not as high of AAV. And people are paying crazy for pitching right now. Like with what Dylan Cease got, Max Fried last year. I think one or both of these guys are going to get behind Kyle Tucker, like the next biggest deals. So I might. It's hard for me. I probably Valdez over Suarez, but they're both pretty good, and I think they're both going to get like 9-figure deals. But I could be way wrong on this, and someone will do Ranger Suarez for like 3 years, 60 million or something like that, you know. But I want to gamble on the pitchers who have been getting these big deals and see what I get.
I like it. I obviously I disagree with you. I thought the second best choice was going to be the person I'm about to pick, and that's Bo Bichette.
Yeah.
Bo Bichette, because he's 28 years old.
Yeah.
He can hit. He's a really good hitter. He's young, and he can play every infield position. Every team should want this guy. This guy should be a Yankee. He should be a Red Sox. He should be. He could be anywhere. Toronto might bring him back. But the real kicker, Nate, is he's going to get a longer-term deal than those jokers because he is a wee baby child. So I'm going Bo Bichette for sure. And I'm pretty sure I just got the two biggest contracts right there. The next pick, I feel less confident about. I think, we were talking about Breggs. I kind of expect for him to get another short, high AAV deal. I don't know who's going to sign him. Tigers seemingly have talked themselves out of it. Cubs could still do it. I don't know. You also got Cody Bellinger, but he has failed to secure the bag. Is it 2 years in a row? 3 years in a row? So that leaves me, I guess I'm going to go, because I already got the win locked up.
Oh, sure.
So it's going to be fine.
Okay.
Bregman is a little bit older. I'm going to go Cody Bellinger based on he's young. Maybe the Yankees will bring him back. He has positional flexibility. And I think the years is what's going to pull me over here, is that he'll sign for longer than Bregg. So, yeah, I'm going to go Cody Bellinger for my third pick.
Yeah. I have two now. These will be my last two. Unless you want to go to 5. But I'm going to take Alex.
You feeling a little scared now?
Let's go to 14. I'm going to take Bregman. I think that's easy.
Okay.
And we really start to thin the herd here. It's kind of why I was thinking going 5 might be more interesting, just because
we can go 5.
After these. So I'm stuck on, I think it's not going to be a lot of years, but I think this guy's going to get some cash. So I'm going to go Eugenio Suarez.
Okay. I'm very curious to see what happens because he had a weirdly good year last year.
What, he hit like 48 bombs or whatever? Something
like that.
Someone's going to pay him. I'm not expecting it to be major, but it'll add up,
Okay. I like it.
All right, you've got one more.
So I've got are we going to
Yeah, you've got 2.
Okay. Oh, so this really sucks for me. I guess I can say because I'll be done after this pick. Okay. Yeah. So part of me wants to go with Murakami and Imai.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are paying for Japanese players right now. I have Murakami is 26 years old. I have no idea what he's going to get, though. Imai, I feel like he'll probably secure a 4-year deal, 5-year deal. Decent AAV, I really don't know. There's also Michael King out there, who I think I would not be surprised if some team goes out and spends way too much money on Michael King. So I'm really kind of stuck. I don't know who I want to take. I guess I should just go with my gut. I'm gonna go Michael King and then Murakami, the little slugger from Japan, and just hope that a team offers him like a long ass deal because he's 26 years old. and hope that bests you.
You think anyone's ever called him Little Slugger in his life?
I thought he was kind of short. Isn't he kind of short?
I don't know.
He is not listed. Okay. While you talk, I'm going to look up
All right,
Murakami's.
so you did Michael King
height
and
and weight.
Murakami.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. I was leaning towards Michael King.
Oh shit, he's 6'2", 213. Never mind. Me and him are almost the exact same size. So yeah, he's a big old boy. That's all right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Murakami. But he's 20. He's 25. He'll be 26. It's a shit ton of home runs. Somebody's gonna pay for him.
Yeah. All right. I will take Imai with my last pick.
Imai.
All
right.
Okay. All right. Here's the teams. Ben, you got Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette, Cody Bellinger, Michael King, Murakami. I got Ranger Suarez, Framber Valdez, Alex Bregman, Suarez, and Imai.
All right.
We'll see.
I think I feel pretty good about where I'm at. I mean, the fact that I got Tucker and Bichette, I feel like you really missed on Bichette. I don't know what you're thinking there, but that's okay.
He was good last year, but he was not. There's some risk there, but he is young. I will give you that. He's the youngest one on this list.
He is not a fantastic defender, but this guy can absolutely hit, and I think people are going to pay for that.
He probably made himself $100 million by having a good 2025, though. You know,
and won me a game.
We'll see.
Oh, you're saying. So wait, are you saying his 2025 was not good, or are you saying that 25 earned him money?
Yes, earned him because he'd been trending.
I was going to say because he had a pretty nice year.
He'd been trending down year after year. Last year was a bounce back year for him. You know,
right.
So, which I do think caps his earnings, but I agree that he's probably going to get a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's going to do it.
Right.
If you made it to the end of this episode, thank you for listening. I'm going to go and I don't know, just like
drink my tea.
Yeah, drink my tea. Swallow some ice cubes. Avoid lettuce.
God, I hate that story. Poor guy.
I know it's rough. And we'll be back next week for our Christmas episode, our 200th episode. We record it at my house, so that'll be fun.
As per tradition.
Yep. So thanks again for sticking with us. We'll be back next week. And until next week, let's go Cardinals.
Go Birds.